So when you arrived at the host home half an hour early, the first thing you want to do before you display out your food would be to display our products. So you want to make sure the hosting reward frame is here, prominent place so that people can know and see it. And then you go ahead and display our sauce this way, along with the label, so people, if they wanted to read the nutritional value, they can just pick it up versus kind of pick the jar from here. And definitely don't forget your brochure. You also want to make sure you place them anywhere near our product as well. So this will be your display. The trick to having very successful cooking demo is to be very prepared ahead of time. And I was just going to show you exactly how to do that. You know, I love to have a cooler, and I normally buy the one that with the handle on like this, so when I carry, walk everywhere, it's easier. It's easier on your back, and then of course you don't bump into people, you know. So this is what I'm going to do. Since we don't know where people are going to have us do the cooking at, sometimes it can be on their beautiful dining table, I always make sure I bring a tablecloth with me. That's the thing. And then always gloves, some type of plastic gloves, because we're going to handle some food, so you wanted to make sure you always have that with you. And my sauce, depending on the theme of the party. In this particular case, we're doing the basic theme, so I'm going to have some blueberries, and what I do is I portion everything out. We have this 4 ounces cup that are really easy to do. So what you do is at home, you warm the sauce up, and then you put them in here. So by the time you get to the host house, you don't bother them running into the microwave and things like that. Most of them don't mind at all. But you know, why create more stress? So you just want to make sure you have everything ready. So I'll put them all out here. We're doing the beef today, so I'm going to have my essential cooking sauce. We're doing the green curry, for example. We're going to have that as well. I portion everything out based on how many people I know will be coming to the party. Because remember, I've been talking to the host up until now. And I would know how many people they're planning on coming. At least and I'm planning for enough food so that they can have enough sample to try out the sauce. So I know already, before I come in here, that I'll have that much food. Sometimes I'll bring extra. If the host was a little bit like, oh, I think we expect maybe 10 more, well, then I might want to bring some extra, but the same. I would portion everything out for enough for that set of people. 8 people, I'll do this. Okay, and then if 16, I'll do 2 of this sauce. So I can cook it 2 times possibly. And all of these sauces are the dipping sauce. This is what we want people to try our sauce. So we don't necessarily have to cook with them. So we want to have them so they can dip them with bread or vegetable sticks. In this case, we always use celery sticks. So I'm having the silky coconut, the kaffir lime. These are for our salad, the mandarin orange, the wonderful tamarind. So I've done with my sauce that I'm going to use and for demo and for cooking. So I put this away. And as part of the recipe, we're going to be giving you what you really need to bring based on a certain theme of the party. But for this particular one, paprika is needed, so I have that. I have my black pepper. I will be warm up this butter later on using the microwave, so make sure that I use that. And cooking oil. See how I portion everything out? And it's very easy coming out from my cooler onto people's tabletop. And some cut up tomatoes. So again, everything that I know I'll be using for the party is all portioned out and ready to go. Okay, since we're dealing with food, I want to make sure I remind you of something very important. You always make sure you have ice pack in your cooler, and I always use 2. So they look like this. Of course, you can get these, Walmart, Target, anywhere in the sports section. And same thing with the cooler. You get them there too. Walmart. Oh gosh, I got them from everywhere, but I remember this one particular one I got from Walmart. So these are the 2 that I have. Solid ice, okay? Put them back in. Because you want to make sure you don't want to bring all the meat out before you're ready to cook. So you want to make sure you leave the fresh meat in the cooler until you're ready to do that dish, guys. So, and then everything else, I'm actually going to show you anyway what I pack. So you see, so I'm going to set everything up here for you. Meat, vegetables, whatever that the cooking theme requires, you could have it. Yeah. So here's the wok we use. Do you know the reason why we get the wok, right? Because you never know what the host, in terms of the kitchen setup is. You want people to see how you cook. So most of the kitchen would have you when you cook facing in the wall. So people don't get a chance to see how you prepare the food. That's why the electrical wok is so wonderful, because you can definitely go anywhere in the house, out to the backyard, in the front yard, and do the cooking. So with that wok, you're going to need the tongs to cook with. I normally bring several with me. Just in case one misplaced somehow during my cooking process, it's always good to have a backup, you know. So those are what we use, and of course I use a silicone tip one because you don't want to scratch the surface of the wok. And of course, always hand towel. Everywhere you go, of course, we'll have it, but it's good that you have your own. So then the idea is you don't want to be such a burden on to the host. You know, you want to make sure you be self-sufficient, just like you go somewhere and be able to cook for yourself. And of course, I always pack, you know, our Lamson sharp knife is part of our product line, and they're really, really good to use to cut product. Excellent knife. And before I actually going to show you how to do some cooking, I would remind you too that you know, when you get some apron, please, you know, put them on now before you start cooking. As well as for ladies, if you have long hair like myself, I normally pull them behind, away from my face, so that when you do cooking demo, first of all, they don't flying all over your face, and also to have a chance of dropping on somebody's food. So it's just for sanitary, you know, issues, and then prevention. You want to make sure you pull your hair back. One more thing I need to tell you too: make sure you ask the host to make sure that she or he have everything on his or her list. Okay, the bread, the lettuce, and maybe the vegetables and dishes that we need, as well as extension cord, just in case you have to cook some places that kind of far away from the outlet. So make sure you have that. Make sure you ask the host that, okay?